As an investor-owned entity, the electric company is, by contract, obliged to grow in size and finances. It is demanded by its investors to produce positive returns on their invested capital. For this, the electric company must do two things: 1. Expand in size, and 2. Sell more energy. In most areas, electric companies have done just that, almost unabated by their respective customer base and regulatory agencies. As a result, perhaps most electric companies have been distracted from their responsibility, the production of energy, and have become inefficient at their primary task. In their frantic quest to increase their size, electric companies often become sluggish and wasteful, often passing the higher cost to operate to their customers. Additionally, to generate more revenue, electric companies push for more use of their product, energy. This is done in many ways. Chief among them are encouraging for less efficiency from consumers and demanding less diversity of energy sources. This encouragement happens mainly through the electric company's influence on laws, but it also happens through advertising and propaganda. In most areas, it seems, the higher energy demand through population growth is not enough for the insatiable want for expansion of the electric company. Often, expansion into newly developed areas is not a choice. There may be another electric company or electric cooperative there already. So, sometimes, electric companies grow by buying out smaller electric companies in their surrounding areas, in doing so consolidating and expanding their power. And, as you may know, larger corporations are generally more wasteful and sluggish than smaller ones. This is a very predictable phenomenon. Larger corporations have more moving parts, points of failure, overhead, and employees. Thus, more chances for becoming corrupt, inefficient, and even wasteful. For example, the Southern Power Company, a gargantuan corporate conglomerate that operates in 14 states, with concentrated presence in the southeast U.S., especially Georgia, presided over, perhaps, the largest nuclear financial fiasco in history, the Vogtle 3 and 4 nuclear reactor expansion project. This project was riddled with mismanagement, company bankruptcies, setbacks, delays, and eye-watering budget overruns. Once even, the project was accurately projected to top over 100% of its already generous estimate to the tens of billions of US dollars. These, all indicators of the wastefulness of this and other giant corporations. The inefficiencies of the electric company does not stop at the corporate offices or the project construction sites. It surely continues down to the homes and facilities that electric companies serve. You see, the electric company must sell more and more energy to satisfy the apparent insatiable greed of its investors. For this, it naturally encourages you to use more power. It does this very subtly, such as by offering you to replace your natural gas or liquid propane appliances for shiny new electric ones. And, by inserting themselves in the building code offices of municipalities and new construction projects to recommend so-called electrical standards within their areas. This is why it is no coincidence that electric company offices are strategically located near government offices in many cities and towns. As examples of these recommended inefficiencies, there are a litany of buildings in every city, schools, hospitals, and office and residential buildings. And, these are often built virtually hermetically sealed, where windows are built to remain closed shut. Their power-hungry air and heating systems are made an absolute necessity, because of regulations. And, also because the public is highly discouraged from taking advantage of good weather and open windows. These features are designed into each building, following local building codes and recommendations, where many windows are not even able to be opened, by design, with, perhaps, some exceptions for emergency evacuation. These and other tactics are used to subtly increase and maintain a high electric energy consumption, for the benefit of the electric company and its investors. Another way to maintain and increase energy use is through propaganda. Have you ever read, seen or heard so-called energy-saving tips from your friendly electric company? Such as in media commercials, printed and broadcasted. These sometimes appear on your electric company website, and even on your electric bill. But these anemic tips are purposely made ineffective to both give the electric company the appearance of empathy toward customers and to keep you using as much energy as you have been, or even more. There is a reason why they stop at advising you to keep your air conditioner's thermostat at 21 degrees in the summer and 19 degrees in the winter. Or, they advise you to replace all your incandescent light bulbs to LED bulbs. Apart from these, rarely do you hear, read, or see any other advice. That is because these tips are hardly a drop in the bucket when it comes to saving energy. And the average energy consumer has likely never heard of terms like season peak generation hours, rate fluctuation schedules, and your household's known power hogs. You hardly ever hear that it is best to stagger your high power consumption throughout the day. And there is a reason why you hardly ever hear from the power company that you should consider solar panels, or a more efficient air conditioner unit, tankless water heater, battery wall pack, or moving large appliances to other energy sources like natural gas or LPG. All of these, and more, are orders of magnitude more significant for true energy savings and tower in comparison to the anemic and disingenuous advice they usually parrot. In reality, the electric company wants to maintain the status quo, or improve on what they've got. The status quo is the current system in which millions of customers are using and paying for unnecessarily large amounts of dirty electric energy. The electric companies are naturally against energy diversity. They want to keep energy sources in what they have used for decades, fossil fuels. This is cheaper for them to maintain and keep making profits from than making a costly shift to renewables. So, naturally, the electric company routinely discourages environmentally friendly and efficient alternative energies. However, they love giant corporation-owned solar farms that they can build and reap profits from. This point was expounded upon earlier. But they despise rooftop solar. This phenomena is well reported. Electric companies see rooftop solar panel installations as a possible threat to their high profits, so they routinely thwart it. The pushback is clear in legislation and regulation, which aim to limit the number of customers allowed to have rooftop solar panel systems in each municipality. For example, in Georgia, there were only about 5,000 slots for rooftop solar installations for customers of Georgia Power in the entire state. And they also limit rooftop solar installations by slashing, or getting rid of, incentives to install these renewable systems. For example, California, known for its prolific rooftop solar market, capitulated to the utilities' demands with slashing incentives for rooftop solar installations starting the spring of 2023. After these incentives go away, it is estimated that 3/4 of the current state financial incentives for rooftop solar installations will disappear. And, as a result, at least 17,000 jobs for the residential solar industry in the state are expected to go away as well. I have gone into some detail as to why your electric service is practically compulsory. You are made to need it and pay for it by a set of unfortunate factors that have been pushed upon the modern societies over many decades. For these, the avoidance of compulsory electric service is an important reason to want to live off the grid. Living off the grid can empower you so you're not forced to accept and pay for an artificially expensive and wasteful electric service. As I will offer you later, you can easily produce the electricity that you require, with minimal waste and with a variety of renewable technologies. And you can use a variety of other non-renewable energy sources and technologies that you can control and be much more efficient with. These may also be used to complement renewable energy sources. The important takeaway is that you should not be put in a position to have to connect to the paid utility. You should have the full right to only pay for what you want to use, and at a fair rate, and have the option to go without electricity. Today, these are possible and practical choices in most areas of the US and the world. And lastly, the choices of who provides you with electricity, where is it sourced, and how much of it you use, should be yours. This must be so, until the day that utility electricity service is completely free of charges. By Hector Vladimir. Written in the fall of 2023. Edited March 20, 2024. Georgia, USA.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. Please look for the next episode soon, and please ensure to share this with your friends and family. And please like this content and subscribe as a sign of support and for me to continue to provide this type of content to more people like you. Lastly, if you wish to support this content further, please visit the links provided in this publication. Thank you.